through 11. Farmers can find out more about it and sign up for the program at goncsuedu.efm. Traditionally, this program is delivered in 3 in-person sessions, totaling 12 days in January and February. However, this year, due to the pandemic, the EFMP for 2021 has been modified to a virtual boot camp that will cover the basics of foundation management, topics of strategy. Financial management will be included, and human resource management. Peanut farmers can compete in this program and participate from this boot camp. For more information, look up www.nationalpeanutboard.org.
For generations, we've worked the land. We've faced hardships and uncertainty before, but you can depend on Florida's farmers. We will continue to rise before dawn and harvest our crops, ensuring that Florida-grown fruits and vegetables are in your stores and that your family is fed. We are providers for our families and yours. We're Florida's farmers, and we're in this together.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have low clouds today, then maybe some sunshine with a high of 73 to 79. Areas of low clouds tonight, low 56 to 64. Cloudy tomorrow with strong thunderstorm in the afternoon, high Wednesday 79 to 81. Then thunderstorms continuing through the evening. Partly cloudy Thursday, high 68 to 76. Sunny on Friday, high 65 to 69. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holden.
That time of year again. You found that perfect gift. Now how to ship it? Well, Just Ship is the answer. Just Ship has a flat rate for package ship and curbside pickup with convenient weekend hours. Plus, even gift wrapping is available. Right now until December 16th, Just Ship will have free pickup or 15% off your total shipping cost. Shop small, ship small. Just Ship is located across from Andrews Building Supply on North Magnolia. Call them at 352-234-3840. In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Took a much-needed work break last week.
I don't get no sound.
Well, I don't know. Oh, you're plugged into the very end.
Okay,
that's
well,
why.
I was on
Put on
this
another
one.
headset. You should be fine. You should be able to hear me fine now. You can't hear me now?
Well,
Can you hear me
maybe.
now? It's like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I don't know. I guess I can.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Because I'm not hearing nothing. I'm not hearing. Yes, I can hear you now.
Well, there. See, I whispered. You could hear me.
gotcha,
So,
yeah.
Good. Hey, Carol Ann. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
It's been almost 2 weeks. It has been 2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks. Yeah. I had something with work. It came up. Lowe's and many other companies do. Community type things, and that's what we were doing. We were freshening up the landscape and the grounds around the Lake Sumter Children's Advocacy Center. So we were throwing 2 pallets of mulch the other week.
That's
that was work.
Back-breaking work.
That was work. Yeah, 2 pallets of mulch. Yeah. We put almost one of them. Almost 70 bags underneath the playground equipment.
Really? Yeah. But that's good. So
it's good because it's nice and soft. It's going to keep the weeds out. We put landscape fabric down to keep the weeds from growing back up, and it really needed a freshening up. So I did some pressure washing, and it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold last Tuesday.
Cold.
It was cold last Tuesday.
That's not nice.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah, last Tuesday was when we woke up. We had a hard freeze.
Yeah, we had. It was
29 at my house.
Yeah.
Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Which leads me to ask this question.
Right.
Because after this last cold snap.
Yeah.
We put the pool noodles around the grass.
Right.
We covered them up with
the frost blanket or the sheets or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we've taken them off, and I see yellow leaves and some brown shriveled up leaves and leaves falling off the new trees.
Right.
Now, could that be from the cold, or am I watering them too much? Because I'm still watering them twice a day.
Yeah, I think it's probably a combo, but I think you're watering too much. I think it's time to back it off, get off the twice a day, because they've been in the ground
4 or 5 weeks.
4 or 5 weeks, yeah. You should be down to, and you'll have to wean it down. So do this over like 2 to 3 weeks. Get it once a day, and then get it down to like every other day. And then over the next few weeks, get it down to like twice a week.
How much has the heavy fog and dew helped with this ground saturation, or how much does how much does that help plants?
It helps it because it keeps that moisture nearby, and so when you it does add a little bit of moisture, and of course this is our dry season,
right?
So anytime you can get any kind of moisture stolen out of the air or however, it does help.
Rained in a while.
Right. I mean, I think I had a decent rain with the incoming of that last front. Decent rain, half an inch maybe, which is still for the landscape. That's fine. Yeah, that's plenty. They're going to sleep. They're resting. They're not feeding. They don't need a whole lot of water. Your landscape doesn't. But anything extra you can get. Only problem we have is if it doesn't burn off early and they stay wet, and your plants stay wet on the inside of the plants, inside of the shrubs and things like that. Because in Florida, unfortunately, we can have fungal issues year-round, including the wintertime.
Really?
Including our lawns, even with hard freezes and nothing's growing. It's if that moisture and that humidity are there with the temperatures. It just in the wintertime we have different fungal issues than we do in spring and summer.
And when you say burn off early enough, like
the sun coming up, like some
last week it was almost 10 o'clock
before the sun. Yeah, and yesterday I think we were overcast until 10 or 11 o'clock, something like that. It was like finally I took my jacket off, kind of thing, because it was just chilly enough in the morning that you needed, and damp enough that you needed something. But that was, and so we have to watch on those. That's why we don't do anything. That's why we don't fertilize. We don't want to encourage growth that encourages, cold damage. Can offer a nice, easy base for insect problems, because the insects, though slowed down, they're not gone. They're not gone. I mean, most of the problems are probably gone now.
The mosquito problem has decreased.
Right. And that's because of temperatures. They're cooler. They're just not active at this temperature. They're not gone. No. Just wait for a nice warm weekend when you want to be outside.
Wait till you get one night at dusk and it's like 73 degrees still.
Right. And that's what, and that you're trying to sit outside and enjoy a nice evening, that you got the fire going. You'll be breaking out the off. So, we still can have some of these problems. The lawns can still have problems. Again, back it down. I still have people. You mentioned before we got on the air, do I need to feed these trees yet?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we just let them be. Just let them be until March.
How hardy are these kind of citrus trees once they're in the ground?
Once they're in the ground.
And these were 3.5 to 4 foot tall trees when we got them.
Come next year, they get a good start. They get a nice root system built, and that's the biggest thing. We want roots, not fruits. So this spring, enjoy the smell of the blossom, but really try not to let them hold any fruit. And most of the time they'll shed it anyway. Everybody freaks out. It has 100,000 blooms on this tree. And it sets 1,000 fruit, and it drops 998 of them.
Right.
It's supposed to. It's not. The tree's not ready to hold all that fruit. So don't anybody else, don't worry about that if they put fruit trees in this year. Once they're in the ground and they've made it through, a good year, with our normal weather, we don't get too many of those really hard freezes, that 8 hours below 28, 26 degrees for an extended time. That's when they get damaged. 32 degrees is just like, whatever. That sweetens up the fruit.
Okay.
We all know, you go out there and, if we get an early frost in, say, November, early December, and you're picking fruit for Christmas, is that so sweet. because it does something with those sugars in them. And so the below up to 32 degrees, even down to 30 for hours, they can tolerate that. It's when it gets below 28 for an extended period of time, that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, those really long, hard freezes is what does the damage.
I've noticed in the last couple of weeks that my lawn guy shows up, but cutting the grass is not what he's doing a lot of.
No.
He's mulching leaves because the trees are
just
shedding.
Just dropping them all over the place.
The maple
yeah.
tree,
Yeah.
they're just throwing leaves like it's nobody's business. I mean, the slightest breeze, you could get a 2 mile an hour breeze through.
It's raining leaves. Yeah, raining leaves. You hear them. Yeah, you hear them on the roof. You come out.
Acorns are falling. Pop,
sweep
pop, 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 pop.
Sweep the sidewalk in the morning. Come back. Sweep the sidewalk in the afternoon. Yeah.
Squirrels all over the yard.
Oh yeah.
Because
It's just a
acorns are
feast. Yeah,
falling
it's just a
everywhere.
feast.
And they will sit there and challenge the dogs like, okay, we're out here in the
whatever.
backyard.
I'm faster than you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm faster than you.
Exactly.
I'm between the tree. Me and the tree. You're between. I can get there first.
my lawn guy asked me though. He said, "Do you want me to vacuum these up, or do you want me to mulch them?" Mm-hmm. Which is better for my yard? Is it better to take the leaves and take them away, or get the mulching blade so that it gives mulch to the grass?
The mulching blade, if it's done and it's not leaving a thick coating on top of the grass.
When he gets done, you don't see the leaves.
Okay, then do that, because all of that is feeding the lawn, the trees, everything. If he were to vacuum them up, I would still probably want them mulched and then put back around the tree.
Right.
Use that instead of going out and buying wood chips. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. And but anytime we mow the grass in the spring and summer and early fall, and that we're putting nitrogen down into the ground. This is brown stuff coming out of the trees now, but still mulching that up as that breaks down is also feeding that lawn and those trees, because you figure nature doesn't go out with a lawn spreader.
No.
And a bag of 10-10-10 to go out and do the trees and shrubs out in the Ocala National Forest.
But they do a pretty good job of growing them.
Of growing and being healthy all on their own. So we don't, if you just use what's in that yard, you don't really have to put a whole lot down. Now, for a lawn, yes, we do need to feed at different times in order to keep that healthy enough to where we're not then battling lawn diseases and that. But on the most part, this time of year, we're not fertilizing. Like you say, he's not mowing. He's got the blades, the wheels up,
Right.
and just pulling all that stuff up, shredding it, putting it, throwing it back out there, and it looks good.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Hi, caller. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning, Hugh.
I'm not hearing you.
Say, my Hawaiian tie or tea, whatever how you pronounce it, it's lost all its beautiful dark red, like maroon color. What did that cold spell knock that down and to kill those leaves, or is that just a natural turn this time of year?
Okay, my headphones weren't picking you up. Can you just kind of start over? Sorry.
My Hawaiian tea.
Oh, okay.
Now, they've lost their beautiful red maroon color.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that cold spell, a week ago or whatever it was, knocked them back, or,
It sure
or
did.
is it just normal for them this time of year to kind of turn color?
No, that was the cold weather. Hawaiian ties are cold sensitive, that they probably should have been covered or protected somehow or another. I would just let them do their thing right now. Don't cut them. Don't do anything. The brown leaves will probably come off in your hands. So you can just, if that's ugly, just let them, take them off with your hands, get rid of those. But I would probably here forward, maybe if you don't have too many of them, if it's not too hard to do, I would probably protect them because they've already lost whatever would be possibly protecting them, and they're in a cold area.
I know in a program in the past of talking about it a couple weeks back, you said not to trim them back until Valentine's Day, right?
Well, with anything, we try to wait till about Valentine's Day to cut off any cold damage. So with the Hawaiian tie, I mean, the brown leaves, if you walk over to it and you touch those leaves and they come off in your hand, that's fine. But don't get out the clipper and cut them way back. Wait till either they're starting to, either when they're starting to come back, or about the middle of February, 1st of March, and you can cut them back.
Yeah, I know on the label it says cold hardiness. It says not cold hardy in zones 1 to 10. We're at what, 8?
No, it's probably from 1 to, usually it should be cold hardy in zone 10, but usually from 9 up, we're a 9. So.
Oh.
So it's probably cold hardy 10, 11, 12, but not cold hardy 1 to 9.
Okay, so in the next cold spell, even though there's been damage done, I should cover them up if I can, right?
I would, sure.
Yeah. See, a real quick question. I keep hearing all the time about the shortage of Christmas trees. Have you experienced that where you work?
We're actually selling down pretty well this year, which is a good thing. All of our really big ones did sell out, but we tried not to get a whole lot of those huge ones just because the area we're in, people don't purchase a lot of the really big ones. But no, we've had pretty steady sales on those. So it's been pretty good.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I think my Hawaiian tea wants to go back to Hawaii.
Could be.
In the meantime, I'll cover them up the next cold spell.
There you go. All righty.
Thanks for the call,
you.
Hugh. We need to take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this timeout with It's in the Garden with Master Gardener Caroline Baldwin on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to. Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
If you thought there was no tree store in Ocala, then think again. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens has been Ocala's official tree store for well over 50 years. At any given time, Bob has more quality trees, dozens of varieties, including shade trees, palm trees, and citrus trees, than anyone in Marion County. You always get lowest prices and guarantee. Plus, every day you buy one tree, you get a second one for half price. That means you can buy a 4 to 6 foot tree for as little as $49.99 and get another one just like it for only $25. Hundreds of types and sizes are available. You can get delivered, planted, and guaranteed. So think about trees. Think about Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, away from all the traffic. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, Ocala's Tree Place since 1952.
My TD Life. Yes, My TD Life. Hi, Trevor DeShaw here, and I will be on WOCA coming Monday, December 21st at 9:05 a.m. to give you ways to take advantage of market gains while avoiding any and all losses to your primary money. Listen in to this Money Monday My TD Life segment at 9:05 right here on WOCA, and check out my website, www.mytdlife.com.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Merry Christmas from the Pack Mail Store. Thank you for all of your business in 2020. At Pack Mail, we pack, ship, freight, and crate, a family-owned business since 2007.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Woodley Ross with Biznek. I have the opportunity to be on WOCA News Talk with Tom and Sonda on Monday, December 28th. Biznek, we're a full-service internet marketing agency where we help you increase your online presence and get more paying customers. So tune in on Monday, December 28th at 8:35 a.m. right here on The Source WOCA. You can find out more information at www.biznek.com. See you then.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
I'm just having an off day today. Supposed to be in the garden with Carol Ann Baldwin's music, and instead...
In about 10 minutes, that'll probably come up, and it's just, that just started. Your day started 10 minutes late.
I did it on my own. I just played my music.
Just feeling a little, just needed to hear about eating pickles,
Twice.
Fried pickles twice,
Hugh brought up a very good question. He asked about Christmas trees and how they're selling.
Yeah.
People are starting to we put our Christmas tree up over the weekend.
Yeah.
Trees are starting to go up.
Yep.
But it also brings to mind the mess real trees make.
Yeah.
Because real trees can be a mess.
They do shed, and it doesn't seem to matter how fresh they were.
Right.
You could go cut a tree. You're still going to lose needles and have a mess.
But is there a way to... You're not going to stop it?
No, but
is
to
there a way to minimize it?
Minimizing it is when you first get it. Getting your tree as fresh as you can. Keeping it, making sure it takes in water, making sure it's got that fresh cut. Don't buy your tree, tie it to, and have them cut it wherever you're buying, whatever tree lot you buy. Have them cut it, and then go shopping for 6 hours, leaving it tied to the top of the car. Because then you need to go home and put a fresh cut back on it. I mean, it hasn't dried as long as it did in the shipping. But still, you want a nice fresh cut and get it into water. And I've always recommended warm water.
Right.
Or hot tap water. Not boiling water, but good warm, warm enough that you might wash dishes with, kind of thing of water.
Right.
So on that initial water going in. And then using any of the additives. I mean, they all do seem to offer something to keep those capillaries open, whether or not it's a tablespoon of sugar, an aspirin, ginger ale, 7-Up, the purchased commercially manufactured juices. Those are probably proven better than the others are, only because the others probably haven't been because people dilute at a different rate. And
I've always put sugar in it. That's what my mom did.
You're right. A tablespoon or so of sugar in there, stirred around when it goes in the stand. There's a lot of stands that are now nice and deep, so you've got a good reservoir, and don't let that go dry.
Yeah,
that's your biggest thing.
You got 2 and 3 cup reservoirs now.
Oh well, some are actually quart. Quarts of water at a time, and they make funnels that you can reach in there, so you don't have to crawl under the tree or send the kid under there with the pitcher. And
you know how you'll be on the internet and notifications will pop up. A YouTube notification popped up the other day, and I wanted to ask you about it because it was about Christmas trees.
All right.
And it showed it was the proper way to have a healthy tree throughout the Christmas season.
Okay.
And the guy brought it home, and he said, he showed it the lot. It was like a 15-minute video. He showed it the lot. He picked the tree out he wanted.
Okay.
The guy said, would you like me to cut it? He goes, not necessary. I'm going to cut it when I get home.
Gotcha. So nice, fresh cut. Yeah.
So he takes it home. He's got a little handheld saw.
Okay.
And he, about 4 inches from up, he cut. Right.
Okay.
And then he did something very unusual after that. He goes, now I like to take, and he took out a file.
Okay.
And he scoured about 1 inch all around the bottom. So he scoured the bottom.
He on the outside of it, on the bark.
Yeah, on the bark.
So he took some of the bark off.
He scoured the bottom. After he made the fresh cut, he filed the bottom.
Okay.
And then he filed about 1 inch high all around the bark. And he took the bark off, and he said that allows, because it allows water to come in more than just flat.
because it's sitting flat in his stand.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said that he finds and I'd never thought about
taking that bark off for about an inch.
I really hadn't either, but you know what? We did have a customer ask for it to be trimmed up, but his was his concern. He said for his stand. Well, I'm not even thinking that maybe that might be what he was doing, because we really only did up about 2 inches on it.
Right.
Just took chainsaw and just
because it does sit in the bottom of the stand.
Yeah.
So the bottom's pressed against the bottom of the stand.
True. Yeah.
When he said it, I never thought of it. When he showed the video, I go, well, that makes all the sense in the world. That makes a lot of sense.
Does make a lot of sense. So there's another thought. If you haven't gotten your tree yet, and you're finding a nice tree that you might want to have them, or go ahead and do it yourself, and you could. You could probably do it with you might even be able to do it with a handsaw.
Well, he did it with like a hand lathe.
Right, yeah, something that
metal,
just took that bark off of there just to try to get that cambium layer exposed. That kind of makes sense.
And it was a big tree, 10-foot tree.
Wow.
I mean, a big old tree.
Right.
But he put it in a 35-foot vaulted ceiling house.
Sure. Yeah. So you needed a big tree. Yeah, you need a big tree for a room that size.
Right.
But yeah, that's and the biggest thing is make sure that the water stays in there. Try not to put it in a draft or that real sunny window. Put a sheer so that sun's not coming in and drying that out.
Yeah, because a lot of people want to put it in that front window.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody can see it. I've never thought about that, but the sun beams in, dries that sun.
That's it. And of course, with us, we're run between heating and air conditioning time of year. That realizing that running either of those takes moisture out of the air. So we have to watch, and you may, on those first few days of putting that tree in, you might be filling that reservoir every day.
Now, the tree's been thirsty.
It's been cut for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been cut for 2 weeks, and now sitting in your house. That's why I always say if you get it, and you can leave it outside in the shade, and you can hose them down for a few days ahead of time. But now that we're coming into, where are we now? The 15th?
We got 10 days.
That you've got 10 days. That those trees are coming in the house right from the tree lot.
Certainly.
So,
but I like that the guy said, no, I'll cut it myself. Home,
yeah, and we've had a few people doing that too. And to help minimize also is the tree bags.
Yeah.
That you can put down under your but to me, if you're gonna put a tree bag down and you have a tree skirt, your tree skirt's gonna get all that dirt.
Certainly.
All that first. So you're gonna have to figure out how to dump that. Especially if you have something that might be, grandmother's tree skirt, or one that like a family piece, that it's actually a piece of art, up underneath there. You might think instead of something more like a plastic tablecloth, where that you could just get rid of it too.
You know what I've done today?
What's that?
For a second time.
Okay.
I missed the 30-minute news break.
It's only 30 now.
Yeah. It started about
20 seconds ago.
20 seconds ago.
We going to news?
We got to go to break.
We'll go to news.
There's no news. The news is over. So, we just got to go to break.
We'll be back.
You're listening to In the Garden with Master Gardener Caroline Baldwin, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Gene and Debbie thank you for another successful year and to wish you and yours a year ahead full of health, faith, and compassion. In addition to our pasture mowing, we also offer fence line spraying for weed control and rototilling for your winter gardens. We are family owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm ready. Powell Gene, Gene at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA, 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 9:30 to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
2 Men in a Truck.
Get inspired to take your next vacation close to home and experience Miami Beach. A paradise getaway only a drive away. Take in 7 miles of beautiful beach. Walk historic South Beach. Take in the art and culture. Stroll famous Lincoln Road and taste the international cuisine found in the city that offers a faraway feeling without the flight. Visit Miami Beach, a paradise getaway only a drive away. Learn more at Experience Miami Beach on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back to In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. At least I got the music right this time.
Yeah.
I missed two news breaks.
I
missed two news breaks, so Joe Martone probably pulling his hair.
Yeah.
No,
Hopefully he's not listening.
He's not pulling his hair out. He's got to have hair to pull it out. Just saying. We've been talking about Christmas trees and everything.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time, and you hear Bob Wine's Community Gardens on here all the time.
Yeah.
They're advertising Christmas cactus.
Poinsettias
and Christmas trees and camellias right now. What are some other flowers? If I want to give my garden, if I want to keep color in my flower beds, what are some other things? What are some winter flowering?
The winter stuff we can do? Well, you're finally for us, because everybody gets itchy actually in like October, November, especially our snowbird friends, for pansies. And it's like pansies hate hot weather, so it's finally cool enough for pansies, and they will go all winter long. So, but the colors are vibrant, but not holiday-ish. I mean, you can find some reds and whites, but geraniums, if you're looking for red and white to do in front of the house, you can get red and white geraniums. They'll take the winter time as well. They prefer our cooler, drier weather here during our winter months as opposed to the hot summer. But if you have them as a containerized plant, you can always bring them back in the house when it gets too hot and wet for them, and they'll be just happy as can be. The regular impatiens, if you can find them, I mean, we've had some in the reds and whites for the holidays. They're not really cold hardy, but they will give you that color here through the holiday. And if you keep those ones from freezing, at least, they'll continue to give you color. For an extended time. They can be a year-round plant if you can protect them from freezing. But your pansies, your petunias, snapdragons, dianthus, and a lot of these you can take and do your whole bed in a variety of these. I probably would do get your snaps and your petunias, maybe some Dusty Miller to help break up the color and help those other colors pop out. And looking for those. The ornamental cabbage, if you can find it, or kale, those are another one. For a while, those were getting used a lot, and I haven't
need
seen them
rabbits
that
in my
much.
yard eating those. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They'll eat the petunias too, so you might not want to do those.
Is it something? And I'm not. Look, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the garden guy.
Right.
Okay. First person to admit
right.
that. I'm good at keeping my mom alive because she's a she's a peace lily. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
And I'm good at keeping these orange trees alive because you don't have to do much.
Right. And actually, if you're not careful, stop watering them as much, and you'll keep them alive.
But is this something people do on a regular basis, changing flowers out?
Yeah,
season
seasonally.
to season?
Yeah. That's where your annuals give you the blast of color. For us, it's usually about half the year.
Right.
Because you figure if you put in pansies now, they're going to go through the rest of December, January, February, March, into April, depending on how quickly we heat up into May, at least for a while, or if they're up underneath or near a tree that maybe is deciduous. So here in the wintertime, it's got full sun. As the spring comes on, the leaves are coming and beginning to shade those things. So up under your crepe myrtles.
It'll still be cooler.
It'll still be a little bit cooler, and so they'll last a little longer. But yeah, the petunias, things like that, same kind of thing. The wave petunias seem to go into the heat a little more. The calabricoa, which is a smaller flower, but very similar to a petunia, just tiny. Then you have like the supertunias, which are hybrids. They're crossbreeds, or what do they call the other one? Oh, I forget the other one. But yeah, they're crossbred between the two. One to give a little more heat hardiness, and not having to deadhead the flowers so much or trim them.
Are there such things as winter azaleas?
The Encore Azaleas will bloom fall, spring, usually like 3 times a year.
Because I think we must have Encore Azaleas in the front yard of
Are they in a little more sun?
They're in full sun.
Yes, these would be more like the Encore, or maybe a red ruffle azalea.
I've seen them bloom in March. I've seen them bloom in July, and I've seen them bloom in October.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like it. Sounds like an Encore. Yeah, where you get that?
What kind of nut azaleas are these?
No, well, those are nice, and especially because you actually on those type of azalea, they will tolerate more sun.
And they're in full sun.
And yours are in full sun. Where the old school, the Formosa azaleas have to be
partial.
Morning sun at the most, and the Formosas get huge. Those are those big. Are those old school? The old school azaleas
that you drive into
the historic.
Trees.
You go down historic Ocala, and you see them underneath the huge oak trees.
The hermosas are they're the ones that the masters have in April.
The big
bloom.
yes, the lavenders and the pink, but your Encores even come in sizes.
And these are small. The ones we have are smaller.
A smaller bloom.
It's a smaller bloom.
Yeah, so it's probably a smaller plant.
It's only about 2 foot tall.
Okay, so you've got one of the dwarf.
We actually, the way the guy
slope
keeps it slopes it up
so that it gets the light up into the middle of it.
At the very end, at the very bottom of it, because it slopes right, it keeps contour of our sidewalk.
Right, gotcha.
So at the very end of the sidewalk, it's about a foot off the ground.
Okay.
At the top of the sidewalk,
it's higher.
2.5, 3 feet off the ground.
Okay. The ones on the bottom, you may watch. You'll be replacing them a little earlier.
It slopes.
Yeah.
Well, they're really tight bunched together.
Nice. Yeah.
It looks like one bush,
Big
although
hedge.
it's more than one bush. It looks like one bush.
But that's what's nice with those is that you can get the dwarf, or which goes usually up to about 3.5 feet, depending on which color. An intermediate.
These are white.
Okay. Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, these are white.
The intermediates will go to like 4.5 feet, which is great if you've got a fence that you're looking to have color as well as just a year-round shrub, around with that. Lower maintenance because they only get that high.
And azaleas, you can cut them back, and they're so hard.
You can cut them back every few years, and I think there's more of a standard size that'll get much larger. But when you're looking for something to go down that front hedge or fence line, things like that, you can trim that off. And we always about every 3 years or so, we would take, and these were the Formosas, down to about 2 feet.
Yeah.
18 inches to 2 feet, and it's like, oh my God, it sticks.
10 weeks late, 10 months late.
6 weeks later, you've got leaf growth, you're beginning to shape them, and the next year, we would have bloom again, because we would do it right after the bloom.
Right.
Not wait a month or two after that bloom, but every few years, and that way we would get rid of the moss growing up in them. The moss isn't killing them, but it just happens.
You get rid of the thorn bushes that grow in there.
All the briars again, and then if you did need to really rip out vines coming up in there, you could get to it.
It was the worst. I know about every 2-3 years, my mom would say, Azalea Day, and as kids we were like, oh God, because we knew they were going to get cut down to the ground,
and you were digging out the bull briars,
briars and everything.
Bull briars and cherry laurel trees.
Yeah. We knew we were and chinaberry trees.
Yeah, chinaberries, cherry laurels, and
we knew we were in trouble. We knew it was going to be a full day in the yard cleaning those azalea bushes.
Yep. Oh yeah. God, your mom must have known my mother-in-law.
The only 2 days I hated in the yard were Azalea Day and Bamboo Day.
Ooh, we didn't have bamboo.
We had bamboo that encircled our entire 1.3 acre backyard.
Wow.
And Mother didn't let the bamboo get higher than 10 feet. Ooh. It was her 10-foot privacy fence.
Wow.
But every 3 or 4 years, it would get to where it was out of control.
Right, had to be tamed
she
back.
She cut it back down to about 4 feet.
Wow.
And then within 6-7 months, it'd be back to 8-9 feet.
Yep, right.
But it was the worst for us because the cleanup of bamboo. It's not easy to get rid of. It's not easy to, even when you're cutting bamboo.
No, it's
no
right.
fun.
No, it's sturdy. It's strong stuff. I mean, they make furniture out of it.
Yeah.
They make fishing poles out of it. You make stakes to hold plants and trees up with it. Yeah. So
Are we done with the planting season? And I'm going to give you a prime example. Are we done with the planting season here in Florida? Or can you put things like, and I don't know if they're able to be planted right now or not, but I know they're a great flowering tree. Are dogwoods and stuff like that able to go in the ground now? Or are we done? Or are we past that and we got to wait for another window?
Actually, because if it's containerized, we've always said you can plant it at any time. Because your biggest thing is to water them.
Right.
Your dogwoods, your red buds, things like that have no leaves on them. So they're okay. I mean, it's not like we're going to burn off any leaves. It's just you can't judge how they're doing because you don't have any leaves. But if you put your schedule down, write it down of how much you're needing to water, when you're needing to water, when you need to begin to back it down, with those you're not even protecting a graft. Usually, they're hardy. They're hardy.
Yeah.
So just realize that your dogwoods are what are considered understory trees. Don't put it out in the middle of the front yard. Not in the full sun. They don't like it.
And people think right away, dogwood should be out in the front yard.
It's a native plant.
Right.
Well, it does have Florida in its native name, but it's a native understory tree. It's only a 10 or 12-foot, 15-foot tree.
Yeah, I see people with 30-foot dogwoods, and I'm like, why would you let your dogwood get that big?
Yeah. But I mean, if it's they're not as happy. They're understory trees. So they do like a little bit of shade, especially in that hot afternoon sun. So it's not something to make it your focal point unless you have something else that's canopied maybe from behind that you can give it.
That's where the Georgia in me's coming out.
Yeah.
My two favorite trees, dogwoods and magnolias.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the magnolias, you get big tree. Magnolia, make sure you've got a yard for it. And that one that you're not going to put it.
And we're not talking about a quarter acre of land with a house sitting on it. That's not enough. It's not enough land for a magnolia.
I can't. I know my magnolia blooms. Mm-hmm. I can't see the flowers.
No, because
it's all the way at the top of it, and I can't get far enough away from it to see it.
Yeah.
I know it does because I get the cones.
They fall on the ground.
Fall on the ground, and I'm going, yeah, boy, that thing had about 25, 30 blooms on it.
You take a magnolia bloom that you get fresh off the tree and float it in some water in your house. Mm-hmm. It'll smell your house up better than any candle or any Febreze bottle.
And you've got to wait till they smell their best when they fall apart.
When they're falling apart.
So, like you said, in a saucer, in a shallow soup bowl, and just let them float in there. Gorgeous.
People say, why would you float it in water? Because it keeps the bloom alive.
Keeps it, and don't touch it. Don't touch those petals because they'll turn brown.
They'll turn brown. You get the brown spots on them. But it's just they're my two favorite trees.
Yeah.
But they're both pains.
They
in
can
the neck.
be, yeah. They can both be. But with a magnolia, make sure it's going to have room. You don't want people parking up underneath it.
No.
You don't want to realize that you're going to put the horseshoe pit up underneath there.
You don't put the fire pit.
You don't put the fire pit near it,
right.
Because the magnolia does not like its roots disturbed. Don't put it where you think you might be putting a pool within 25 feet of it in 10 years, because you're going to cut the roots and you will kill your tree.
Has a massive root system.
Has a massive root system that does not like to be damaged. So keep that in mind, on those. I love the tree like you do, and they're gorgeous trees. They don't need a lot of work to have just that natural conical shape to them. You don't have to prune them, except maybe to get a little height up underneath it to be able to mow. But give it some room. Dogwood trees, you could plant dogwood tree, put them all in at the same time.
Yeah.
And let them grow up together using the magnolia to shade the dogwood, and that way you would have your white blooms and your white blooms during different times of year.
It's just, azaleas, dogwoods, and magnolias. Makes me
the
Masters. Makes me think of the Masters.
It makes you think of the Masters. There you go. And
is there any more southern than azaleas, dogwoods, and magnolias?
I don't think so. I think that is definitely one of those things that.
It's just and I know the dogwood tree has a reputation of also being the crucifixion tree.
Okay.
Because of the spots, the way the flowers are, the spots and everything.
But it's still, it's been put biblical value to the tree.
Right. When it's in full bloom, a white dogwood or a pink dogwood.
Oh, yeah, are just magnificent. Magnificent.
They're really magnificent.
And it's one of the ones that sort of ushers in. When we're having a very nice spring.
Up.
We're having a very good spring when they're blooming gorgeously.
Right.
Because especially here, they can be fussy and don't bloom as nicely. So we're having a fantastic. The red buds started. You go, ooh, it's spring.
Yep.
When you start to see those red buds in February, and you go, okay, ooh, the dogwoods will be next.
The dogwoods are next, then the azaleas.
Then the azaleas start happening, and so it's that whole progression. And if you have your camellias, you've got your October through January color going.
And they tag team.
And they just go on through, and you can really match some colors within that as well.
What are some perennials or annuals I can put in the ground now that I'll see results in March, April, May?
Perennials this time of year to me are a little bit difficult, only because they're meant to go dormant.
Right.
They're meant to go to sleep right now. So putting them in now, there's a chance you can lose them over the winter just because you don't water them the same way we water trees and shrubs. And that they would need to be protected just so that they do come back. Annuals, you can go ahead and put those in, but you get your color now that'll last you through till end of April, 1st of May, and then we're beginning to switch out for those spring colors to go through the spring and summer. But perennials, if you're looking, if you're after, I wouldn't put in milkweed right now because we want the butterflies to migrate. We want them to stop. It's not their time of year. We can have a cold spell that just kills them off because, nature has certain things it's supposed to do. But for things with low water uses would be some of, which are permanent plantings, would be some of your ornamental grasses. Bulbine takes the cold pretty well. That's one that doesn't take a lot of water. It's reminds you maybe of a very thin aloe.
Right.
It has that succulent type leaf to it, yellow flowers. I like Gara. They used to have one. The one we get in doesn't go by the name of whirling butterflies, but that's the way I know it, because the flowers look like butterflies, little tiny butterflies up on top of stems. So when they move in the air, it looks like there's whirling butterflies, hence the name.
I found one of those pine trees that I asked you about in South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
It's on 5th Avenue in the Historic District.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a picture of it and bring it in because I want to know what that tree is.
All right. 5th Avenue in the Historic. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll be over Wednesday. I'm off tomorrow, and I have to drive over by then.
I want to know what that tree is.
Okay.
I've wanted to know for 30 years what that tree was.
Right.
And so I think now I'll bring a picture in and go, Caroline,
get us.
What is this?
What is it? Yeah.
What is this? If people wanted to start, because the grass has gone dormant now and everything, if they want some color in their grass now because the Bermuda's gone dormant, can you throw out rye now? Is that good to do now?
Rye's fine to put out now. Realize you're going to mow.
Yeah,
Rye's
going to grow.
You're going to have to mow through the winter. So if you don't want to mow or you don't want to pay the guy to come by and mow, don't do it, because you don't want that to grow and get real tall, because it'll damage the grass underneath.
Okay.
So you do have to care for it. You don't scalp your lawn in order to put the seed down. Put the seed down, rake it in a little bit so that it gets all the way down to make contact with the soil, and water it.
Okay.
You don't have to fertilize it, just water it. Ryegrass will grow.
But you do have to rake it in if you spread it.
You do kind of have to. Yeah, you kind of have to get it down in. I mean, if you get out there with the hose and you can blast it down through there. But to me, it's like, take the rake. The grass has been mowed. Or like you say, the mulching mower across it to suck up and chop up all the leaves. Put your ryegrass down. Rake through it just a little bit, just to get that to go down past the top, down towards the soil level, and then water it. And
do you find a lot of people put ryegrass down this time of year?
A lot do. Yeah, they really do, because they're here as snowbirds and they want green grass.
Right.
And a lot of other people do it because they do mow their grass. It's a form of exercise because they have a small lot and they use a push mower. So it's one reason to get out and take that walk through the yard.
What's the transition, though, in the springtime from the ryegrass going away and the Bermuda or the St.
whatever
coming
back? Usually because the rye's going to die off on its own. So you're mowing and you're going to probably start to bring it down, because you let that rye be just a little taller than what your existing lawn is by, say, a half an inch, maybe, about like that, because that will help protect it. That you mow that rye down to what your grass should be. So like the 3.5 inches on your St. Augustine. So you bring that down there, and then more light's going to come into the St. Augustine. The irrigation's going to be a little more. You're going to, maybe we're getting a little rain. The heat's going to kill that rye off. So it's just, you start to care for that lawn as it's lawn.
Do you have to periodically aerate your lawn to make sure it gets?
Even with our sandy soil, to aerate it, it's going to keep it a little healthier. St. Augustine, even the vertical mowing, where we're dethatching on something like that, makes the yard look like hell at first, but boom, in the long run, especially if the lawn is struggling.
Why is aeration important, though?
It lets the water and the nutrient down in. It helps to break up any of the thatch that might be starting, because even aerating is the hard soil. Even though we have sand, it can compact. People don't think of that.
If it's got a little limestone in the sand,
and all our sand has limestone in it. It seems like,
and some of this gumbo clay
that's up underneath there. Yeah, you go down 2, 3, 4 feet, you've got gumbo underneath in a lot of areas, and so running. I got a frog in there. If anybody hears that, sorry about that. Going through with an aerator, some people buy one and use it, a couple times a year. Other people do it maybe once a year in the spring, just to get things off to a good start. Vertical mowing, I would not do that every year, or dethatching every year. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a little harsh to the lawn. But, say every few years to really rejuvenate it, every 3 to 5 years or something like that, you could really get a good, keep, especially St. Augustine. That's mostly what we're talking about. Is St.
Right. Bermuda's going to
do its thing. Bahia's going to do its own thing.
But St. Augustine's expensive. So
it is. It's expensive. Beautiful lawn, thick, lush lawn, if well cared for.
One of my favorite things to do, and people laugh, but you probably won't because you're a master gardener.
Right.
One of my favorite things to do when I go to Disney has St. Augustine as far as the eye can see.
You walk over and pet it.
And they keep it cut well.
Yeah.
There's nothing better after a long day at Disney World walking around on your dogs.
Yeah.
Because I even at Disney World, I'm wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
Take those flip-flops off, put them in your hand,
and walk in that cool
through
grass.
that cool St. Augustine grass.
Yeah.
Nothing feels better on the bottom of your feet
and that nice
than
cool
some
grass.
St.
Cool grass. And none of our grasses are really soft.
Right.
But the St. Augustine, when mowed properly,
It's
nice
fluffy.
and high, it's fluffy. It is a nice grass.
It's a nice grass.
Yeah, the zoysia had a gentleman the other day go, "What can I fertilize my lawn with? It's brown." I said, "It's zoysia." He goes, "Yes." I said, "We had 2 cold spells. It's brown.
Going to be brown.
It's done. It's done being green."
When you go to Muni, to Ocala Golf Club,
right?
When you go play there, you see the green fairway, and everything around it
is
brown.
Yep.
Everything.
And it's gonna be that way.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Caroline, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
They can find me online on the Facebook page, In the Garden, and there's 2 In the Gardens. Ours is the Ocala one, and it's got Yeah, you'll tell it's us. Or you can find me at work down there at Lowe's in the Villages.
Every day.
5 days
Seems
a week.
like you're there
5
every
days.
day.
5 days a week. I will be off from the holidays till the first of the year, but hey, give me a chance for relaxation.
Come down there and get a Christmas tree from
Come get you a Christmas tree. We got plenty of poinsettias. Few Christmas cactus left. I'm out of amaryllis. Have been out of amaryllis. So
went fast.
They went fast. But we also have some plantable trees. I'm not sure how well they compare to Bob Wine's, because Bob Wine's are tree growers there. That's their job. So I'm sure theirs are probably a bit bigger and possibly probably the same price for a bigger plant. So
probably the same price
for a bigger plant for him. Yeah, for them. So, but I mean, you can find. We have the Norfolk Island pines, mostly the big ones this year. The nice size. So $20, but still, that's a great house plant. You can put the little mini decorations and lights on, and you can keep that out on the lanai year round. It's great plant.
All right, Caroline. Next week we'll do this again.
We will do it again. It'll be our pre-Christmas show.
In the Garden with Caroline Baldwin every Tuesday right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.